Assembly Bill number 35 of 2025. Second reading.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that the Air Passenger Service Charge Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 35 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill is a very short bill, almost about 3 clauses. And principally, Honorable Speaker, the intent of this bill is to have monies that are usually charged to passengers, air passengers, both for domestic and international flights, and usually appropriated or shared between the Kenya Airports Authority, the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and the Tourism Promotion Fund, to now be shared amongst these institutions, but to the exclusion of the Tourism Promotion Fund, and in its place put the Tourism Fund, which is a more centralized fund that will be better placed to ensure that this money goes to the promotion of tourism-related activities and projects. Honorable Speaker, the bill also shares out this money to the Kenya Meteorological Service Authority, as is envisaged in the bill that we passed yesterday on the creation of the Kenya Meteorological Service Authority. Members are aware that this authority does not exist yet because we only passed that bill yesterday. And therefore, we are consulting, and I know the committee right now is in a meeting with the CS in charge of transport to consult around this issue and know whether, by the time we come to third reading, whether we will need to have the Kenya Meteorological Service Authority enlisted as part of the beneficiaries of these funds, or just leave it as it is for this authority to get money from the exchequer. But, Honorable Speaker, in the endeavor of the bill to allocate part of this money to the Kenya Meteorological Service is also to ensure that there's a sustainable revenue stream for the authority and enable it to deliver on its statutory mandate, and particularly to ensure that there is accurate weather forecasting. And you know, accurate weather forecasting is also critical for aviation safety and disaster preparedness, as much as it's also very good and effective in forecasting weather for our farmers and other national needs. But in this particular case, the intent of the bill was to ensure that this authority, as much as it will get money from the exchequer directly by appropriation from the National Assembly, and those who are here during debate on the meteorological bill, are aware that that authority has also the opportunity to get money allocated by this House for its work. But we are also looking at an opportunity to have them have another more sustainable stream other than the normal budgetary provisions. But as I said, Honorable Speaker, the committee is currently engaging with a view to proposing amendments when we come to Committee of the Whole House, hopefully on Tuesday morning, so that, again, there is no duplication. If we are appropriating money to that authority from the House, there may be no need, again, to appropriate these funds from the Air Passenger Service Charge. Honorable Speaker, this charge, as I said, is charged both on local flights at a level of about 600 shillings for local flights and about $50 for international flights. And as I said, currently this money is being shared to KAA, that usually gets the largest share because they are the ones running the airports that are patronized by the passengers who are boarding the flights. And they usually, from the international flights, they usually get about 60%, with another 20% going to KCAA and also to the Kenya Tourism Promotion Fund. On domestic flights, again, KAA gets the larger proportion, about 50%, and about 30% going into KCAA, and another 20% going to the Tourism Promotion Fund. As I said, Honorable Speaker, in place of the Tourism Promotion Fund, we are proposing that this money now goes to the Tourism Fund. One, to avoid duplication or reduce the duplication of monies that are going to various entities within the tourism sector, and improve efficiency by ensuring that tourism-related projects are supported from a single unified fund, and there is no better fund other than the tourism fund for that purpose. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I said, it's a very short bill and therefore do not need to say much. The only other thing members will note from the bill is that unlike before, where I've said that these monies are shared out under the Act, we are now creating greater flexibility to allow the Cabinet Secretary through Gazette notices in the Kenya Gazette to specify the allocation of proceeds amongst the beneficiaries. So based on needs and adaptability of emerging needs without the delays for further legislative amendments. As I said, for instance, now, if we were to incorporate the tourism fund, if you are to change the ratios as they were in an act of parliament, you'd have to come back to the House to allow parliament to legislate again. And you know how long that process can take, as Honorable Makali was alluding to on the bill that he was proposing, and you're aware how long it's been here. So it becomes a little bit cumbersome if even on sharing ratios, you have to come back to the House to legislate. So we want to give that flexibility and adaptability to the Cabinet Secretary so that if tomorrow, for instance, we think KAA requires more money because probably KAA is building a new airport, or KCAA requires to ensure greater aviation safety in the country and they require more money, it will be up to the Cabinet Secretary to propose in the Kenya Gazette through regulations the ratios through which they will share these monies. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I want to ask the Deputy Leader of Majority, I was looking for him. I beg to move, and as I was looking for my deputy, I beg to ask my deputy, the Honorable Owen Bayer, to second this motion. Thank you.
Honorable Owen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the